All right, time to get started. This Saturday morning, so I just want to get a lot of questions all the time of what it's like being a real estate agent, and some people don't realize all of the hard work that's on the back end of it, and all that you have to do from being a marketing person to being administrative person to a salesperson. There's a lot that goes into it. So I wanted to talk about a little bit about that today with you.
Awesome.
All right. So first, let's just start off. Well, first, I will say, if any of you that are watching, if you don't know me, my name is Andrea Wilson. I am a real estate broker here in Northeast Ohio. I work with traditional buyers, sellers, and real estate investors here. And so Michelle is one of the agents here at Brick House Realty, and I just wanted to get some feedback from her and share it with you guys today, who may be thinking about getting in the business. So please introduce yourself, Michelle.
So I am Michelle Holmes. I am a realtor with Brick House Realty. I like to work with buyers, sellers, and I'm just getting into the investor market as well. So, hi.
Okay. So right now, how long have you been licensed?
So I'm coming up on a year in May. The end of May will be 1 year officially.
Okay. Well, congratulations. And then tell us what your career was prior to being in real estate. What did you do?
So actually, I prior to that and still doing today, I guess I'm a dual career professional. I've been an administrator in a public accounting firm and in the human resources field for 25 years.
25 years, wow. So what made you get your real estate license?
So honestly, real estate, I was looking at it before I started having kids. It was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to be a realtor. And then I started having kids and I didn't have a chance to go to school and get the knowledge. And so when I was turning 50, I made this list. You know, when you have a big birthday, you start making lists. Okay. So I made this list and I was like, one thing I still wanted to do was to get my real estate license and become a professional realtor.
Okay. So I'm glad you said your age. So do you think that it makes a difference of like what age you are to get into this career?
The only thing that was a little bit hard for me, I'm gonna be totally honest, was testing. Testing at 50 was not fun.
Okay.
But if you are astute and you take your time and you put the time and the work into it, you can absolutely I believe you can become a realtor at 80 if you want to, doesn't matter. But if you take the time to study it, absolutely. It's never too late to be who you've always wanted to be or what you've always wanted to be.
Yeah, for a lot of folks, real estate is actually a second career for them. So where, you retire from whatever industry you were doing, real estate is supposed to be, or is thought to be, kind of like relaxing or an easy job where you can still make some really good money and work kind of at your own leisure. So a lot of people do get into it kind of like as they're going into like that retirement phase. So would you say, so far from your experience, is real estate everything you thought it would be?
I would say yes, it is. I think the only thing I didn't probably think about was, I have to be on social media because this is where we are now. So I think that part of it was just like, oh yeah, I got to remember to post. Oh yeah, I got to remember to do the marketing piece of it. But other than that, I'm a people person. So this is really making my passion stand out. So from that aspect of it, it is everything I thought it was going to be.
Okay. So I'm glad you talked about social media. And posting and everything. So are you saying that you definitely agree that you have to be visible to your audience? And does that mean, when you say posting on social media, does that mean just posting a little blurb about, oh, I sell real estate, or do you think that it requires a little bit more?
So I think that's a setup question coming from my coach. So I got to make sure I watch my answer. You definitely have to post and not just share information that you're a realtor, but share the knowledge, share what's going on in the market, share a little bit about you. Again, it still goes back to, even though it's social media, it still goes back to building relationships. So you're building relationships with clients, referral sources, your friends, your family. And in addition to that, you're sharing information that's important to them. You know, even if, like the other day, I was talking about how important the census is. Like, some people don't know that. So you want to make sure that you're sharing that information. It's important to do that and to be a help.
Absolutely. So what tips would you give someone who is thinking about getting into real estate and wants to take the exam? Do you have any tips you would provide to them?
Sure. As far as taking the exam, just study hard, schedule your study times, and stick to those times, because the exam is difficult. The other thing I would say is identify early, even before you take the test. Identify a great coach and a great mentor. And those, if you're lucky like me and you find that individual that can do both, be your coach and your mentor, that's great. But it may not be the same person. But find a coach and a mentor that can push you and can help you get to where you want to go, and help you set goals to get there. And I think the other thing is to be teachable. One thing about this I've learned in my first year is that I need to soak up as much continuing education and as much knowledge that I can about this new craft that I've become a part of, about this new business, this new opportunity. So learn as much as you can about real estate.
So one of the things that I find that people, once they get licensed, because the classes, I mean, you know, for under a couple $1,000s, you can take the classes and sit for your exam. So what I often hear, once you get licensed, all of the fees and the expense that comes on the back end of it. What are your thoughts about the fees that we have to pay as agents?
So in order to grow any business, you have to spend money to make money. We all know that. We've all heard that. But you're investing in yourself, basically. And so I think that once you sit down, again, it goes back to being with the right coach or the right mentor. That person's going to help you plan out your year. So because I sat down with my coach and my mentor, hashtag Brickhouse Realty, they were able to set me down my first meeting and say, here are all of the fees that we pay as realtors. And then let's set goals. Let's see how you're going to get there and understand the importance of those fees. And it's part of being a business.
Yes. So I think that's where people kind of get lost, and they don't really think about that, is that, yes, you are absolutely starting a business. And like any other business, you have to put money into. You need marketing dollars, you need professional development dollars, and then you're holding a professional license. So because you're holding a professional license, you have to pay the membership dues and to get access to some of the tools we use, such as the MLS, to see houses, show houses. So that is definitely very important. I think a lot of people, they are actually get kind of shocked because they kind of scraped up the money to take the classes. And then, okay, now that next step is, as soon as you pass your test, boom, you're just under $1,000 with having to pay your National Association Realtor dues, because people don't realize, in order to call yourself a realtor, it's actually you paying a fee and becoming a member of the National Association of Realtors to be able to do that. Then you have your MLS fees. So on top of that. So thank you. So You've kind of answered this next question with some of the other questions that you have mentioned. So getting into it, so now you're kind of in it, so you're kind of stuck at this point. But so do you think you still like real estate, or do you think you would have positioned yourself a little differently within real estate? Or if you could go back in time, would you pick another, second career path?
No, I actually love real estate. I wish I mentioned that I'm a dual career professional. So I'm trying to figure out in the near future how I'm just going to be a single career professional in real estate. I love it because, again, I'm a people person. I like to build relationships, and that's exactly what real estate is.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it definitely is a people person relationship business. But I do like to tell people that, like, not everyone is about, building those type of long lasting relationships. So even if you get your license, there are other routes that you could go or you could take, by being maybe like an assistant to a realtor. A lot of times agents really do need some help creating marketing material, preparing the documents and stuff. So you could be that administrative person on the back end. And they really do prefer for you to be licensed when you do that, just because they may need you to run out to show a property or do something for them, even as an assistant. So that's definitely an option as well. So if you could go back, would you have done something differently?
I would have got my license sooner.
Okay.
That's the only thing. You know what? I'm grateful I got my license when I did, only because in this first year, like, I've been blessed to see that has not been a downtime or a down season in the housing market.
Okay.
I know going into it, a lot of people were like, oh, in the wintertime, it slows down. I haven't seen the slowdown yet. So I think I got in when I was supposed to get in. But again, if there was something else I would have did, I probably would have got my license 20 years ago.
Yes. Okay, so you mentioned something about timing, which I am sitting in my daughter's old room right now, which I'm converting while I'm in this downtime. I'm going to convert into my walk-in closet. But this is my space where I can lock the door and get away from the kids. But timing. So timing right now, we're dealing with the coronavirus here, and we are on a quarantine period. And so we're working from home. And so what are your thoughts right now? Would you suggest, knowing that we're going through this with the coronavirus, and they're projecting that there may be a potential recession going on, do you think it's a good time for someone to get their real estate license?
Absolutely. One, you can take the classes online. So while you're at home during this downtime is a great time to take the classes. Mm-hmm. And then even, I know they say a recession is coming. Real estate is wealth building. So there are people that real estate hasn't stopped. I don't know if anybody knows that. So even though coronavirus, but realtors have not stopped. I've gotten 3 calls this week. There are houses still coming on the market every day. So yes, if you can take this downtime and go online and sign up for your real estate courses, I think absolutely is a perfect time to do it.
I agree. I definitely think that people should look, when we come through this, who knows? Are we saying the end of April here? Are we saying the end of May, June, whatever it is? I definitely think coming out of this or being in this situation, people have realized that they may need to start their own business, or if nothing else, make sure that you have enough savings on hand. I even realized through all of this too, whereas, okay, we save money, but I don't wasn't saving money for a year planning. And through this coronavirus situation, it kind of taught me that, okay, I really need to plan for a year, because we could potentially, this is like a whole 6-month time frame of when they're saying this all could expand. And clients right now, yes, the market is hot and cold. As weird as that sounds, like how can it be hot and cold? And what's happening, you have a group of people who are like, whoa, or maybe they even got laid off. And they're like, well, let me just hold off and see what's going on here. They just don't know. They're confused. They don't understand. They're frustrated about the market. But then you have, like you mentioned, people still calling you like, I still want to see houses. What's crazy is I have health professionals who are in the hospital daily wearing masks and covered up and seeing sick people. And they're still like, oh, I want to see houses. So we had a question here. How do you think the current temperature is going to affect the market as an agent moving forward when it blows over? Will it be a buyer or seller's market? Good question. Again, it's we're hearing bits and pieces of that there is a potential recession coming, right? So if you're an investor like you are, then that could be a good thing if a recession hits and people lose their home. Good, not good to those individuals whatsoever losing their home. But as a real estate investor, we may start to see some things that happened back in like 2008, where there was a higher number of foreclosure and inventory on the market. And then on the other side of it, they're saying that, well, no, the market, we have started to see an increase in value starting to go up in the marketplace. And so that may continue to happen, or the market might start to at least balance out. So right now, buyers are putting in multiple offers on properties, and they can't seem to get one, but this may help with the inventory situation that we're seeing. So for sellers, they probably should have went ahead and sold their house like end of 2019, beginning of 2020. I know we were kind of really pushing that then, beat the other homes that are kind of on the market, but and so should we wait to become an agent if they are considering, or is it a bad time to become one? What you think?
Is there a bad time? Is this a bad time to become an agent? Is that the question?
Yeah.
No, I think just like I said, if you have the time and the funds available, there are individuals that I know who have applied for unemployment and they're getting ready to get that extra money that they normally wouldn't get. Invest that money back into getting your real estate license.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I think you're getting ready to get this stimulus check. If you don't absolutely need it, if it's just you're putting it like, oh, thank you, then that is the perfect amount of money. The classes are $999. They are online, so you can take them all right now, 24-hour access to the material. We can provide that link. Just had a couple more questions. Would you recommend anyone to quit their job and just jumping all into this business?
I'm gonna give my personal opinion. I did not quit my job and just jump into this business. And so that would not be my recommendation, because I've been in accounting for as many years as I've been in accounting. My recommendation before you jump into anything is always make sure that you have enough money saved up to jump into something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. When I started in the business, I quit my job and just went all in. And I because there's a lot of unknown. Like that first year, it's really a learning period. When you look at the people who have become successful in this business, it's only a small handful that have been a success overnight. And typically, if they are a success overnight, it's because they had a direct relationship where they could constantly get leads. You know, a wife who is a realtor and her husband is a doctor, and that doctor is able to provide them with leads from other doctors in the hospital he works. An attorney that can, you know, a husband-wife attorney, or you just have, or parents already established the business, so they have leads coming in. So now you are, you know, one of their kids who have grown up into the business. The first year, you really are, it's a learning curve. Everything is new depending on your background. Some people don't even have like administrative background. There is actually a lot of paperwork and contract reading that we have to do, and you have to like understand, on top of the systems that we use, from like electronic signing systems to platforms, to finding documents, to even getting set up initially. It takes some time to do that. So really your first year, a lot of it is just kind of figuring out your path and really identifying who you are in the business and identifying your niche market. And then when you go into that second year, you could kind of, okay, I got that piece of it. Now I am officially ready. And I don't want to discourage anyone who had lots of hopes of really just exploding their first year, because it could happen for you. But I also want to be honest and realistic about the situation as well. So you know what you're getting into.
Absolutely.
Totally. Is there anything else that you would like to share with anyone that's thinking about getting their license?
No, if you have any questions, you want to contact me and ask me, you know, anything in detail about my first year, I'm available. I'm on Facebook. You can call and ask me anything. I believe, Andrea, are you going to put the link for anyone that's interested in taking the online classes?
Yep, I will.
If you add that down there, I think it's a great time. It's definitely a great
time. So I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. I am going